If you work a lot with custom calculations inside your Excel and you're trying to find them, reach them inside pivot table by using either calculated field and calculated items, at some point probably you will reach the wall and won't be able to jump further without the power pivot add-in. Then a lot of Excel users start jumping out of a pivot table that we will investigate in a second by showing another way of calculating the average of the sales value by creating just a simple formula outside of a pivot table. When you do this for the first time, you might be surprised that after starting the formula with the equation sign and trying to calculate what is the sum of sales divided by the count of order ID that we have, instead of referring to B4 cell, you start referring to the whole pivot table by using the automated formula GETPIVOTDATA. Of course, the calculation is going to work, so you divide sum of sales by the count of order ID, the result is correct, but when you try to copy the formula down, it's not going to work as usually for the other rows. The thing in here is that the GETPIVOTDATA is kind of fixed for your particular region, like the central region, and it's not taking into consideration other fields. How to stop using this formula and jump into normal formula world? There are two ways how you can do it. The first one, on pivot table options, you can always, on the Analyze tab, you can always turn off this generate GETPIVOTDATA formula, and then whenever you select a cell, you start referring normally to the cells you wish. The other way, if you don't want to turn it off, is to pick the address of the formula by typing it on a keyboard, like let's take the B4 cell and divide it by C4 cell, and the result is going to be exactly the same. You just refer to normal address. There is also another way by editing the GETPIVOTDATA formula that we have, and instead of sticking to the static values of the regions like central we have in the formula, you can refer to a specific cell like A4 cell, where you store inside the pivot table the element that you want to refer to. This is a combination of a few formulas right now that will allow me to refer to the region name that appears in the A column, but the disadvantage is that this formula is not going to work on the grand total, where there is no region filter at all. But the greatest disadvantage when jumping out of a pivot table is that if your number of row elements will increase and you will get a new region, those formulas will not automatically expand down, and the same when you decrease the number of regions you have, the report will be unsatisfying.